We're here today at the Fellowship Living. It's a sober home, a home that houses over 30 women and over 175 men in recovery. Today, we are here to speak with several of them to find out what really addiction is all about, the real stories, the real feelings, the real emotions, the challenges, the difficulties that addicts feel in their life today. We begin with speaking with Natalie. Hi, Natalie.
Hi, how are you?
Thank you. Thank you for coming today. Really appreciate it.
Yes.
First question, okay? How old were you when you first started using drugs?
I was, I think, about 13 when I first started using drugs.
13 years old.
Mm-hmm.
Wow.
Yes, young.
Yes, yes. How were you introduced to drugs?
I was hanging out with some older kids, and I ended up kind of being friends with somebody that her mom did drugs, and her mom, I thought, my mom was really strict, and her mom was really cool, and so it started there. They had, some harder drugs. It wasn't even marijuana, so it started with crank. Then her mom would give it to us, so.
Wow.
Yeah, and back then I thought it was just so cool, but
Right.
Now today I'm just like, wow.
How were you introduced to drugs?
Through a cousin.
A
Through
cousin?
family member. Yep.
Wow.
Yep.
Peer pressure?
Peer pressure.
He was a little older?
A little older. Yes, sir. Absolutely.
Right.
You know him?
Do you remember when, so that was the time you started drugging. What was the first drug you used, you said?
Marijuana.
Marijuana?
Yes, sir.
Well, they say marijuana doesn't lead to anything else.
No, it does. Absolutely. It's the gateway drug.
Yeah, it is.
Yes.
And where did it lead you to, Adam?
Smoking crack.
Smoking crack.
Yes, sir.
And how long?
Everything in between.
Tell me, what are some of the drugs you've done?
I started with marijuana. I went soon thereafter to cocaine in the powder form, hallucinogens, acid, mushrooms, microdots.
You must have come up in the 70s.
No.
No.
Born in 77.
Wow.
I came up in the 90s, more or less. And then, let's see, tried some heroin as well, and ended with crack cocaine.
Well, I got into a car accident in October of 2017, and with my son in the car, and I was prescribed Percocets. And I was in a horrible relationship with my son's father, which then led me to, on my own, doubling up on what I was supposed to be taking. Then from there, it went to, that feeling wasn't there so much anymore, so I started to buy Dilaudid on the street. And shortly after that, my sister, of whom she passed away in March of last year from this disease, introduced me to the needle.
What was the catalyst of this emotions that you were feeling, this pain? What is the catalyst to that? Abusive home, drugs at home, feeling unworthy?
I felt I had a lot of, very self-conscious behavior and just very always worried about everything. And at the time, I was with a pretty abusive boyfriend.
What do you mean by abusive?
Physically and mentally.
He beat you?
A couple times.
When did you realize, though, that you were addicted and that you had this disease, this problem?
Not for a long time, actually.
How long?
It had to have been 20 years old, from the time I was 13 to 20.
What are some of the problems that your drugging caused in your life?
I've lost everything.
Like what?
Job, husband, everything.
Okay.
Home, dog, everything.
On the streets?
I was homeless for a long time.
How long?
Off and on for the past 8 years.
Like the reason I started getting, like drinking and using?
Yes.
It was an escape. It was an escape, I remember the first time I smoked weed, I was 9 years old, and I drank, and I was never ignorant to it because my father and mother always got high, so I always seen him doing it. And I remember the first time I did it, man, it was amazing. It was really amazing, and took me outside of myself.
That's what scares me today, is I used after just discussing someone dying or after just witnessing somebody dead
What did he die from?
from this disease. Yeah, we still don't know yet.
So obviously he overdosed,
I think he overdosed, or his liver or something.
gave out. Mm-hmm. Do you go on a binge? Is it a day? Is it a week? Is it? Tell me, how long does this last?
I'm labeled as a binger. Yes, that's accurate, and usually about a week.
About a week.
Okay, so to expand on that, it's about till the money runs out.
Okay.
Now, in my youth or younger days, because I'm getting a little older now, it would last longer, but it would probably end up in jail or an institution, quite frankly. Nowadays, I am a little older, so it's ending now when the money runs out. In the past, it has ended when the money runs out.
Just recently, I overdosed and I died. I had no heartbeat, I had no pulse. They found me on the bathroom floor in a Pollo Tropical. And just remember waking up from all of the Narcan that they gave me. They gave me 4 times the legal limit, 4 bottles of Narcan. And I just remember the paramedic telling me, like, we didn't think that we were gonna bring you back. Like, please, I'm begging you.
Scary.
Yeah, I just remember waking up and hearing that, like, wah, wah, wah from the Narcan, and I was just like, geez, am I, like, up in heaven with my sister right now? What's happening?
When I overdosed, my dad actually went to leave to go get food, and usually he doesn't come up and say anything to me. And he found me blue on the floor and gave me CPR for 10 minutes until the ambulances arrived, because we live in the country, so it takes a while. And I didn't even care when I woke up. I was more upset that they knew I used again, and didn't really care that I almost died, and didn't really care what I did to them, because I was at such a hopeless spot.
You get robbed, your backpack, your clothes, you're walking around 24/7, you go to sleep, you wake up, nothing's there, you get beat up, don't know where your next meal's coming from, or you're mainly focused on how am I going to steal a bottle of wine from the store so I don't get sick. The anxiety level is ridiculous.
Lost hope myself after I relapsed, and I just stayed on the streets, just using for years methamphetamines. And
Did you ever want to commit suicide?
of course.
Did you ever try to
Many
commit
nights.
suicide?
Yes, many nights.
Tell me
many
about
days. Suicide. It's bad. Like, I'm sorry. It's emotional for me. Just thinking back to
we
it now.
understand.
So I was getting high down here in Pompano, and after my ex left me, man, I went off the deep end, and I was behind the Dunkin' Donuts right on Cypress and Atlantic, and I went back there and I loaded up a syringe with methamphetamines and heroin. I tried killing myself, and there was 2 homeless people that were actually sleeping back there, and they found me and they dragged me to the street, and it didn't work. It didn't work. They called the ambulance, and they gave me a couple of shots of Narcan, and I was in the hospital on like a breathing tube. I had like heart problems after that. I was there for a couple of days. And there's other times where I just took like medication, you know, just sleeping pills, and just trying to end in everything, because it came to a point where I was just like, I was giving up.